It's so fluffy, I could die. It is so nice out today, you guys. This is not for the faint of heart. Even if you're a puppy, it's hard. But really, we're about to tile the backsplash. Can't even see me down here feeding the dog. But we're keeping her with us because it's just a lot easier than running back and forth to our house. I think Luke was gonna want me to say that we might not stay here so late tonight. Hopefully we can get a lot done. And we're getting there, like it's not that bad. It's just a lot of pieces and it's tiring, and we haven't been this deep in a remodel in a year and a half or so. So I'm hurting, but it's gonna be a good day. We bought a 1930s cottage to turn into a boutique Airbnb and almost immediately found problems we didn't plan for. From hidden surprises to budget-breaking repairs,
$884 plus tax.
This renovation is anything but easy. Follow along as we try to transform this historic house into a short-term rental that could change our lives. If you remember, we ended last week's video with Luke and I applying waterproofing to the drywall behind the kitchen sink. If you haven't seen that video, then I suggest you check it out. I will add a link to the top of the screen above. We let the waterproofing dry overnight, and today we're going to put the tiles up. But before we do that, we're going to do a little cleanup. If you've ever done any projects like this, then you will understand. It is just crazy how fast things get messy, and it can really slow you down if you don't take the time to clean up and keep things organized. We're also taking the time to work through a little game plan. Luke and I tend to do things in completely opposite ways, and we have learned over the years that we work much better together if we discuss how we're planning on doing something. That way, when we're in the middle of it, we're not having disagreements, especially because tiling can be time sensitive, and once the mortar is mixed, we only have so much time before it will be set and we can no longer stick the tiles to the wall. The tiles we are using today are a 6x6 white porcelain tile that we used when we tiled our shower. These are just extras we had left over, so it's nice that we're not having to purchase these materials again. We are adding some trim on each side, and we're going to be stacking them one on top of the other to kind of keep a retro feel. We're going with a really small 1/16 inch grout size, and I've got those spacers ready. We picked those up at Lowe's. That's gonna be cool. Luke is going to be doing all the cuts and I'll be placing the tiles. It is so funny to me because watching these clips back, there's definitely some moments when we don't agree, but we always find a way to work through that somehow. Otherwise, this would never work. Ow, you fed me your bicep. Did you do the math? It's 4 tiles plus 3/16.
6.
You measured the tile?
6 is 24. Are they gonna sit on this? So
24 and 3/16. What? Or says, put me in your overalls, Mommy. I wish this window fell all the way down so you can look out for me.
you have to cut on this one.
throwing. We have opted to use the Schluter All Set, which is what we're also going to be using when we tile the shower and the bathroom. And you'll be seeing that probably in 2 or 3 weeks' time once I get the kitchen finished. And Luke is helping me just make sure everything is good to go so the tiles sit. He's very worried that they're going to fall off the wall. I just put a spacer up there, don't I? To the thing or no? Put it up in there.
No, you can, but you don't have to. Looks good.
Agreed.
We'll get some of that excess off and then clean the bucket. You think you're gonna be good? You have enough on the wall?
There you go.
Happy with it?
I think that I'm gonna be learning. I'm gonna stick them up here and then. We definitely balance each other out. Luke can be a little bit OCD to a fault, and I'm not all the way type B, but I do tend to lean a little bit that way sometimes. I think a lot of times, if you overthink things, you can just really make a lot of stuff more complicated than it should be, especially when I grew up around things like this and saw the worst case scenario. Those nightmare videos where you see the tiles just falling off the wall, you've really got to do something really bad to make that happen. With that being said, I do understand that I'm not a professional. There are things that I don't know, and I highly recommend you seeking professional advice or trying to find a skilled tradesperson to do these jobs for you because they definitely can go wrong. We do have a shortage of people in the trades where we live, and I think that's an issue everywhere right now. If you're willing to learn and learn from your mistakes, though, you can definitely figure this out. We have done almost all of these things before, but it's kind of hard for us because there's oftentimes long periods of time between projects where you have learned how to do something really, really well, and then you kind of abandon those skills. And then a couple years later, when you want to do them again, it's not as bad as doing them at the first time, but it is still a learning curve. And it's frustrating because you knew how to do this before and you have just kind of forgot. So it did take me a moment to kind of get in a groove and get rolling, but once we got started, things finally started to speed up a little bit and I started to feel more comfortable.
There we.
Gotta love some leftover tiles. He's doing my cuts. He loves me. I have bad news, Bear.
What?
You're gonna have to trim them.
Okay, well. There you go, bad news bear.
have an idea. And I'm very happy with this. And I did use the level. And it was level. Make sure hand strength is not my forte. I'm just sliding on the floor trying to push. Thank you.
Have it done right here. Everything is uniform and even.
It's not perfect, but I think it's good. Well, that's fun. I don't know if I would want to be a tiler, but that's enjoyable. Strangely enough. We have yellow, hutch.
Fingers. Watch your fingers anyway. Right, you ready? Okay. There's just some nails. I don't know how many you have.
Like two.
Look at me. I'm brilliant. I will do that.
These are shorter, doesn't matter. Okay, fine.
There should be the long ones in there. Oh, not. That'll be fun. I know there was sideways in the box.
Should say not life size.
No, white side. Hold on, so you start going to town. Button up to that yet?
Yeah,
Can't see what's
you
going
need to
on.
go up a little bit on the whole thing.
I mean, it doesn't only go up so much.
There you go, right there.
Is it touching at the top?
Oh, you dropped it.
touching on the bead. I'll pick it up just as it's touching on the bead.
Yeah, do you want me to nail it?
Yep. Here it is. Just kind of go like this, not a heavy angle, just a little bit of an angle.
I mean, like that.
Go in the bead, just out here.
Maybe that's why some too much. Beautimus, Dad, Beautimus. Looks good.
Lay on it.
I'm impressed with it. It's great with the walls,
You're welcome.
since the walls aren't straight.
You're welcome.
I just slither out.
You can go under there or through there.
I'm not going through there.
Cool. I was gonna move it back this way. Dirk. Video you slithering out under this.
Oh. And we have a wall. Here's the other side of that wall. I don't know if you've seen that. The paneling still got to go up, but he got the switch moved because it was in there. So, side has its own light, and then, you know, the washer and dryer will be there stacked. We're getting there. I'm really happy with this color yellow. It is called Hay by Farrow and Ball, and it really looks nice. I've got these blinds shut because if I open them, you're not going to be able to see well. I'm trying to just let the light come in so you can see these cabinets, but it's a really, really nice pale yellow. It probably is truly a butter yellow. It does have a green undertone though, so it's not super vibrant. Let's see, just for contrast here, I would say this is more like a primary yellow, and I don't know if y'all can see that well, but definitely really, really subtle. This cabinet section is the only cabinets that were in the entire kitchen, and I did make the choice to leave them in place just to save money, because as a reminder, this is going to be an Airbnb. So I'm going with the IKEA cabinet system. This will be the third IKEA kitchen that I've installed myself and designed myself. I have not used the IKEA staff to design any of my kitchens. However, I do use the IKEA kitchen design program. And then I have got the Barrister bookcase that I picked up when I was out of town. I stopped at the antique store in Jackson, Tennessee. I may try to insert that footage. I picked that up and it's a perfect size to go on the countertop area. Yeah, I would like to have had somebody custom make cabinetry for in here, but not only would it have been more expensive, but I don't think it would have been fair to put, the budget constraints on somebody who, is an artist. I think cabinet makers really, it's an art. And also that push for time, if it would have like doubly affected the budget in a negative way, it would have made things really hard. So it just works out where I know how to take care of it myself. But yeah, having a kitchen in here is going to be huge. And there's a few things that are going to be coming in to really transform the space, even as it sits right now. First of all, this dishwasher, it really looks like brand new. I'm not sure that it was ever used, but we do have some vinyl wrap coming in, and I've got some samples left. Let me grab that real quick. So there's a company that my husband found that is in Tennessee. Let me see if their name is on this envelope. Hold on. I want to ask him to make sure that this is the correct name, but this is a Tech Wrap. And yeah, they were very, very helpful. My husband gave them a call and talked to them about what I was looking for. I do have an espresso going in here, the nugget ice maker that I purchased to go in here that's cream. And then I also ordered a retro refrigerator that'll be delivered in a couple weeks that's cream colored. And I really wanted to incorporate the current dishwasher into this design scheme and also tone it down. I just feel like although metal may have played a role in the original kitchen design, it's not something that I want to be just fully front and center. So he gave them a call, and like I said, I think this is the name of the company, it's Tech Wrap. They are located in Tennessee, I think somewhere around Nashville. I'm trying to get this up and running. We're within walking distance to downtown and the Tennessee Street Park, which is currently wrapping up install on a carousel, which is super fun. I didn't even know that that was in the works whenever we put the offer in on this house, but it's kind of been like a little cherry on top of this whole plan because I feel like it really adds some appeal for people to want to visit. This is going to be the door that you enter in. So to my left here is the door that you'll primarily use if you're staying here because we're going to have the digital keypad on here. So I just really want this space to be not only inviting, but I want it to really have a unique appeal without being gaudy. And I want to kind of lean towards maybe some things that would have been in here originally. Obviously, there's got to be a balance there. But I definitely want to do a lot of restoration and a lot of reintroduction of character because that's what had been removed, when they did the last remodels and they added the drywall. We found evidence of some really fun wallpaper that was here, and I really want to be reincorporating those things. A lot of times I will go to fabric stores, and if I see something that's a good deal or something that I know I might want to use in the future, I usually get 3 yards is my magic number. So I picked this up, I think well over a year ago at Carter's Fabrics in Corinth, Mississippi. That is you don't find those anymore kind of fabric store. I think that they're trying to downsize. I hope they don't close. I really love what they do there. It's very, very simple. You can find so many things there that you just can't find at other places. And yeah, this is a cotton kind of mid-weight. I guess you would call this a quilting fabric. I think there's a brand on here somewhere. Maybe this is one that didn't have one. But I've thought about trying to tie this in just because it has the cream and the yellow. If y'all can see that at all. But y'all tell me, what do you think? Is this too much? Is it too feminine? I'm not gonna be scared of color in this house, but I also don't want it to be like offensive to people that are, you know, like men. My husband's adamant that if men rent this, like to go fishing, they don't care. It's not gonna be offensive to them. He says, do what I want. The only thing I don't like about this, and this is gonna seem terribly silly, but it has a few butterflies on it. The only one that gets a little bit of an ick from a butterfly. I mean, I'm from Tennessee, you know, Dollywood, like, I love some Dolly, and I just think that in a kitchen, sometimes a butterfly might be a little bit too childish, but yeah, I can see like some cafe curtains. Tell me what you think. I wanna know. I need an opinion. Color-wise, it's perfect. I think I might just stick that there so I can think about it. Walk in and out of here a few times and see what it makes me feel like. The ceilings in the house are pretty high, but in this room they are a couple inches shy of 8 feet. So they were probably like that originally, but the only issue that I have at all really with it, I mean, I don't think I'm gonna have any people stay here, they're 8 foot tall. If you wanna come to Savannah, Tennessee and you're an NBA player, and you wanna stay in our little cottage, then, you know, duck, that's all I can say. No, I mean, it's got standard height doors, it's just a couple inches short of 8 feet, so. Light fixtures though. This light fixture doesn't really bother me. I like the fact that it's neutral, and I don't want to put something in here that's gonna crowd the space and like feel like it's pushing down. But I need more light in here. So I think I'm gonna try to incorporate some wall lights. I've got a few different options. And the nice thing about, you know, current times is that it's super easy to find battery powered rechargeable lights, and something that, you know, maybe every week we can, as we're cleaning, recharge them, and that would be completely fine. I'm trying to keep it simple. I don't know. I've got to think about it. I've got to think about balancing the budget and functionality. All I know is that I'm gonna have to add some more light in here, and it cannot be from a larger light fixture because it would just be too imposing, like it would make it feel too small in here. I don't even know if y'all can see that light. I'll show y'all in a second. But yeah, this area has a black countertop on it. Again, it would not be my first choice, but it is a real stone countertop, and it's in really good condition, and I don't have a good reason to spend that money. So what I chose for the other side of the room is a contrasting color. I'm going to insert a picture. I just snapped a quick photo when I stopped by the stone yard the other day. so that as I was planning, I could remember exactly what it looked like. It is another granite. It does have some veining in there, and I think that it will look really nice. So the lower cabinets will be white, and then this light color white and gray granite, and then you'll have the barrister bookcase sitting on top that's going to be painted yellow. When I did my IKEA kitchen plan, I did create a mock-up of kind of the kitchen layout. I'm gonna show you guys, and I might try to insert some footage in better light, but see how sweet that is? It really looks like it's hand painted. And it's just kind of further affirmation that I'm doing the right thing by incorporating some color in here. I'm telling you that this house has a lot of things that I would like to do, but I'm gonna have to rent it in so that it can be a functional Airbnb. But yeah, there's not gonna be a shortage of videos, and then if we do end up getting another property, it's probably gonna snowball. So I would like to incorporate some wallpaper in here, and I'm scared of doing something dumb. I have a ton of things saved on my Pinterest board. I used to think Pinterest was all about like arts and crafts, but it's a really great design resource. And I've saved a ton of kitchen inspiration, and it seems to all go like very different ways. And I guess I'm torn between what I like, which is like a country aesthetic, which is kind of clean, but then that's what I want to live in. I love so many different aspects of design. That's why I'm excited to do this, because it's something different. So I want to go for it. I want to pick out some wallpaper, and this is in the other side of this back room. This is where I think the kitchen was. So yeah, there's teal, and then pale yellow, which you probably couldn't see, but these leaves here on the bottom are definitely a pale yellow color. I know it's kind of dark right there, but it also has some silver on here and green. I really wish I could see more of this, but I love it. So what do y'all think? I really want to know. I want you to tell me what you would do if it was yours. If you were doing this project for an Airbnb, would you want to keep it clean, or would you want to kind of go for it and be a little bit liberal with your design? Let's see what I can find here. Ooh, that might be interesting. Westbury Forest, Forest of Arden deer wallpaper. Would deer be done with the kitchen? It's really similar color-wise. You see that? The mood. Even though it's deer, there are fruit on the trees. What else do they have? A ticking stripe. I have considered going that simple, but I just feel like that's a cop-out. And then a trailing ivy. I love me some ivy. But man, I just feel like it's such a 90s thing. The good old William Morris fruit. I don't know. I've placed a pickup order from Lowe's for some spray primer for this barrister bookcase. I did take the glass out of it last night and gave it a quick sand and wiped it off good. so I'll be ready to go this morning. So I'm gonna run to Lowe's, pick that up, and come back, and then we'll get to work priming this and see how far we get today. I failed you. Not really, but kinda. I realized that I was gonna get overspray all over my lens, and the lens I film with is not too cheap, so I didn't want to do that. I'll insert some footage of it almost ready. I don't know if I want to try to take it apart. It's got some hardware that I'm afraid won't go back together. Hello? Like I said, I had to move my camera inside because I was afraid I was gonna get primer on it, so I'm I'm gonna switch gears while that dries and work on painting the bunk room.